What's up, guys? What's up, Roland Carlos family? What's up, Gator Nation? Today I have a special guest that has been on the show for the first time. He's coming on the show for the first time. How you doing today, Isaac?
Carlos, thanks so much for having me on. Excited to come on here and talk about the Gators.
What can we expect from what you've seen on in spring practice from this team and John Summerl? It's the first year, so we don't know what to expect. So, from what you've seen, what can we expect?
Yeah, well, obviously it's hard, right? First year coach, the fans aren't going to care as much as until the football season starts, right? And he gets a
Yes.
win on his resume, but he's doing everything right in the meantime, right? Because the Gators are not going to have a win or loss until then. So what is he supposed to do in the offseason? Win the fans over, and I think he's doing that. And most importantly, what he's doing is not giving any hints as to who the Gators QB1 is going to be this season. I know you're probably going to ask about that. He might have an idea, but in practice, he's doing split 50-50 reps. And that's good because you also don't want to hurt the confidence of Aaron Filer or Tramel Jones. It's really early in spring. You don't want to give away who your QB1 is going to be yet.
Should we be worried about Dallas Wilson because this is the second consecutive spring that he's in a walking boot?
It's a good question. I think yes, it's absolutely something to worry about because this is your star wide receiver. This is a guy that redshirt last year, so he has 4 years of eligibility left, and you would hope that because he's still considered a freshman because of the redshirt, that he's the best freshman wide receiver in the country. But yeah, he's just had injury problems, and I know people love hypotheticals, and they say, well, if he's on the field, but that's just if he's on the field. I will say this will limit the worries. The Gators wide receiver room is so deep that if Dallas Wilson isn't able to play every week, they will be fine. I think, everybody's talking about Eric Singleton, the transfer wide receiver. Yes, he's explosive. He's one of the fastest receivers in the country, really good at making and getting separation. But somebody like Micah Mays at wide receiver 4, nobody's talking about him. He's kind of like the best kept secret in college football.
Mm-hmm. What's your take on Josh Payton putting the wide receiver room in top 5? To me, they're top 3 or top 2, not top 5.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends if Dallas Wilson's healthy, right? Because if Dallas Wilson isn't on the field, the wide receiver room is just going to drop so far down. But what happens if Dallas Wilson's on the field? You can't double team a guy like Vernell Brown or Eric Singleton. That's where this offense gets scary. And also, these receivers have so much speed that they're going to go downfield. What does that mean for a guy like Jaden Ball in the backfield, right? The defense is going to be, on their feet. And also, Aaron Filer and Tramel Jones Jr. are two guys that can run the ball very well. So anytime you have an offense, you're trying to make it not one-dimensional. You're trying to keep the defense on their tippy toes, right? You want to keep the defense guessing, and I think the offense is set up where the defense is going to constantly be guessing. But again, it all depends, and this is any team, any sport. You got to be healthy, right?
Who do you expect to have a breakout season? Give me 3 on the offense and 3 on the defense if you've seen enough.
Yeah, I'm not going to name 3 on both sides of the ball because I think that's a bit much, but I'll give you 3. I think, first of all, on offense, I think that the big thing is Vernell Brown, right? I think, and he had a terrific year last year. I think he's going to explode on the scene even more this year.
Yes.
Just because there's so much more weapons around him.